Hello guys, it's me, Mekatopics. Welcome to another video reaction. This time we're doing Fener against CSKA. This is the matchup out of the 4 matchups happening in the playoffs this year, which I believe is going to 5 games. That being said, with the way Fener is going right now, I don't know if they're going to have enough players to even play basketball, let alone take the series to 5 games. It's a tough pill to swallow if you're a Fener fan, with all the injuries as well as all the other issues going on for that club right now, which results in a lot of players being absent. That being said, they're going against CSKA, which themselves have been in quite some drama throughout the season. Most importantly, losing arguably their best player, definitely their best scorer, a guy who was an MVP candidate this season in Mike James. So it's safe to say that these are two teams who are both struggling right now. But the show must go on, so they have to play, and we'll see what happened. I have not watched the game, again as usual. I was aware of Fener's absences going into the game, the further absences outside of just Vesely. Vesely is reported to come back around game 3. With Vesely back, I can easily see Fener winning 2 of the next 3 games from game 3 forward. It would be great for them if somehow they manage to get a win here. If they manage to beat CSKA without Vesely and then Vesely comes back in the 3rd game where they have the capability to possibly win in maybe 4 games, then that would be massive for them. But if they're going to have to wait for Vesely to be back because he is that big of a factor for them to start getting these wins, they still have time to even qualify, really, but definitely make it a 5-game series, because as I said, CSKA themselves are playing wounded right now. So this is a series of the wounded teams. I would add Real as well to that club, but they haven't been as likely to play another team with injury issues. That's it for my intro. Check out the video prediction, I'll link it again somewhere here. Check out my other video reactions from the playoffs that I've uploaded. Let's jump straight into the reaction now. Singela with the ball, gives it to my guy Hackett. I love Hackett. One of my favorite dudes in Euroleague. Great mid-ranger. He's fantastic from that range. And the goal is going to have to do everything for this Fener team if they are going to upset CSKA. He knows CSKA, former CSKA player. He knows maybe do his schemes and what he likes to do. Here we see him getting 2 quick buckets, but he's going to be a key factor, especially with Vesely out. Good pass, great pass. Clyburn himself had to struggle a little bit with some minor injuries this season, but he seems to be getting back to his former self, and he is going to be, probably with Mike James not being there anymore, this is going to rely to him a lot for a lot of the scoring. What? Fener doesn't need that on top of their bad luck. So clearly the call is out there to try and make a point against his former team. I just noticed in the sidelines, I forgot to mention, Igor Kokoskov, Fener's coach, also wasn't able to travel to Moscow. I'm not sure, I think it was COVID protocols. That's crazy to me. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. Fener is hurting from every single position, even the coaching position. They're hurting. This is going to be a very, very tough 2 games for them. Saw the sidelines, I saw the coach, and I was like, "Where's Kokoskov?" And then I remembered, oh right. See, this is, you have to be lucky as well at times, and like this year wasn't on Fener's side with the way the season has turned out. Strong rebound between 4 CSKA defenders. So it's a close game. So Fener should really, despite seeing great defense here, seeing them stop Brown, but Fener should be happy with the way they played. All things considering, Hackett, my boy. So CSKA was at 70 points with half a quarter left to play, right? So as I understand why they started showing us defensive highlights, because from that point on, they only scored 6 points. Damn. That's tough. To only score 6 points in half a quarter. And yeah. Yeah, a tough game for Fener. It was going to be tough regardless, but on top of everything, not having your head coach actually be there and be able to coach, I'm surprised they kept it as close as they did going into the 4th. That should be something that they take as a positive from this first game, that they managed to compete with CSKA even with Vesely's absence, Kokoskov's absence. Seeing in the points, the Colo clearly came out trying to lead. They needed him to have this type of game if they wanted to have any hopes of getting a win here. Still, they didn't win, but the Colo needed to do this type of performance, which, was the reason probably why they were close in the 4th with 5 minutes left, 6 minutes left. Clyburn, as I said, he's starting to find his former Final Four MVP self with 20 points, Voigtman with 10 big rebounds, and Clyburn also had the team high in assists, so being the team high in scoring and in assists, clearly he's the player who is going to step up behind Mike James' absence for CSKA, and I'm sure that Itoudis, made sure he got that message through to him. He's going to get a lot more touches, he's going to get a lot more plays run for him right now with Mike James not being there. Also wanted to give a shout out to Daniel Hackett, a personal favorite player of mine in Europe. He has battled through a lot of injuries in his career, battled through a lot of disappointments, but he seems to have found a place and a home at CSKA, and he's Mr. Reliable for them. In almost every big game the last few years, he has shown up and he has been what they need him to be, which is a floor general on the floor and a player who is able to calm down the team when he's in. And I love his playing style. I love his attitude. Got to know him a little bit when he was for the 2 years he was with Olympiacos, despite the injury that he suffered, which was devastating. As a big fan of his, and it's great to see him playing this well for this amount of years. he has been in CSKA. Yeah, for Fener, the plan here should be try and steal a game, and then hope for Vesely to be back in a good enough shape. If they lose both games here, I think that it's going to be difficult for them, even if Vesely returns to win 3 games in a row. At the same time, Vesely is that impactful. In my opinion, Vesely should be a candidate for MVP this year because he impacts the game so much for his team. We saw how Fener was without Vesely for the first half of the season. We saw how Fener was when Vesely came back for the latter part of the season. Yeah, if they lose both the games here at Moscow, which I think they will, because it's just too tough for them in their current state as a team to win. They're going to have a hard time winning 3 in a row, even with Vesely, which is one of the reasons why I predicted this series going 5, but CSKA eventually winning it. That being said, if they somehow manage to steal this second game right now, which they will be playing, and if Vesely comes back, then they have a chance to end it in their home court, and that will be big for them, with their coach and with their MVP candidates on the floor with them. Tough start for the series for Fener, but that's why it's a series. There's ups and flows. If Vesely comes back, we're looking at a completely different series. Never mind if they manage to steal a game here. Still the second game, because the first game's over. Yeah, CSKA is the favorite. The way everything has turned out, even without Mike James, they are the favorite. And we might be looking at yet another Final Four year for CSKA, which, again, as I've already said in my prediction video, very, very impressive for a club to be able to be this consistent. I don't think that any other club has been that consistent as CSKA has been for the better part of 2 decades now, going into a 3rd decade. Thank you for watching, and tune in for my next videos. Drop a like if you enjoyed, tell me in the comments if you want me to keep doing this reaction, it helps a lot. So yeah, thank you guys, see you on the next video.